Hello, this is Jamie Magritte. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. I would like to show you how I made this card. It was kind of made the same day as the rainbow feather one. I was just playing, so let's get started. You need a scrap of Whisper White to stamp your feather on. Any word you want. This particular one is not Stampin' Up. It's one I had in my stash. It's a Gina K die. But if you notice on the card, it's stamped with hugs in the background here. So this kind of went with it. This is 3 inches by 5.5 inches. Whisper White. This is 3 1/4 by 5.5, so you get that quarter 1/8 inch border. I have a piece of I just blanked on the color. Sahara sand. Sahara sand is 4 1/4 by 5.5, and then I have my card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Okay, I'm going to be using the Positive Thoughts stamp set. I'm going to be using this one, and just the hugs from this stamp set. You need your chamois again because we're switching colors, and again I'm using all of the Brights collection. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is stamp my feather with the mementos so that I can put it aside to dry so I can cut it out. Let's try that again. I think I can get a better impression. That's better. Okay. Put this aside for a minute. And I just remembered I didn't bring out the sentiment. Now I did do stamp surgery on the sentiment. I did cut it apart because I just want the hugs. You can just ink the hugs separately. I just find it easier to do this for myself. Okay, set this aside over here and bring in this piece. We're just going to do random stamping with colors. We're going to just do like 3 or so stamps from each color with this stamp. I don't know, there you go. Some of them are going to right side up, some of them are going to be upside down, and you're basically just randomly stamping. Do that triangle. Okay, let's get the next color. I'm going to do a couple stamped off ones. Okay. Clean it off. Oops, I just stuck my finger in it. Okay, bring in the Flirty Flamingo. I made these cards one day when I was having no mojo. I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? So I just started stamping. Oops. Maybe this one will do just with the reds and the yellows. do a couple stamped off. Well, maybe not. Okay, now Daffodil. That was Mango Melody. Come on. This doesn't look a lot different from the mango, but it does in the long run. Okay, I'm going to take the Hugs. I'm going to stamp that a few places. And I'm going to bring in that die. And put one here, I think. One down in here. Okay. I think that's going to be it for this. I don't think I'm going to do all the colors this time. I'll leave it like that. Kind of like it. And I'll be right back. I'm going to cut out my feather and I will be right back. Okay, I've got my feather cut out. I'm going to bring in some dimensionals and put them on the back. Let's see, do I have any cut apart? I don't. So let's bring in a pair of scissors. Just bring, these are Teflon coated so the glue doesn't bother them. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this. Now you could do it with the sponge like everybody does. I have a hard time keeping it still and I end up with glue on the front of it when I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and try and use my Tombow. That one I left open so it's not coming out. There we go. You don't need much, just tiny little bits. And I kind of use the tip of the bottle to push the dots around so that it spreads out just a little bit. Okay, so put this on here like that. And then I'm going to put my feather at the end of this so it looks like it wrote it, like it was a quill. Okay, then let's mount this onto our black layer. Going to be flush on the ends, just have the border on the top and the bottom. Make sure I get that straight. Oh, looks like it's hanging off a little. Pull it that way a little bit. Better? Yeah. Just a little hanging off now, I can live with that. Okay, just put this on here, centered as well, or you could put it higher or lower. Okay, then we'll mount this to the front of our card. There we go. There's the card we just made together. Here's the one I did previous using all the rainbow colors. Which one would you prefer? Just using part of the color family or the entire rainbow? Well, thanks for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.